It's late at night, but your mind is still running. Bills, rent, future plans, things you want but keep postponing. You work, you earn, you spend. Then the month resets. And quietly, a question begins to sit in the background of your life. What if this never changes? What if work and survival are the same thing forever? Most people don't ask that question out loud because the answer feels uncomfortable. But something interesting happens when you start observing the people who never seem worried about money. Not celebrities, not lottery winners, just ordinary people who somehow stopped needing a job. You notice something strange. They don't just earn money, they own things. And those things keep paying them long after the work is done. That's the difference. Most people are trained to earn. Very few people are taught to own. And that small difference quietly decides who spends their life working and who eventually stops. Pause for a moment. Look around your life. Your job pays you for your time. When the time stops, the money stops. It's a fair exchange, but it's also a trap, because time has a limit, and deep down, everyone knows it. This is where the quiet shift begins. Wealthy people slowly replace time income with asset income. Not overnight, not dramatically, just one asset at a time. The first one is simple: skills that scale. Not skills you perform once, skills that can be used again and again and again. A course, a digital product, a system, a service that grows beyond your personal hours. At first, it feels small, but something subtle changes. You work once, and it keeps working after you stop. The second asset is ownership in businesses. It doesn't have to be a giant company. It could be a small online store, a software tool, a local service with a team. But once systems replace your hours, income begins to separate from your time. That's the moment the rules start changing. The third asset is something most people ignore for years: equity. Small pieces of businesses that keep growing while you live your life. Stocks, index funds, startup shares. You may not see the growth daily, but time sees it, and time never stops compounding. Here's where it gets interesting. The fourth asset is content. Videos, articles, podcasts, ideas that travel across the internet without you being present. One video today, 10 tomorrow, hundreds over time. Each one becomes a tiny employee working for you day and night. The fifth asset is intellectual property, something you create once, but people keep paying for you years. Books, frameworks, licensing, unique methods. These are invisible assets, but sometimes the most powerful ones. Then comes real estate, not because it's glamorous, but because it quietly produces cash flow while the world sleeps. Property, rent, appreciation, slow, steady, persistent. The seventh asset is distribution, audience, trust, attention. When people listen to you, opportunities begin appearing that others never see. Partnerships, products, deals. Attention becomes leverage. And finally, the eighth asset, the one that connects everything. Systems. Not hustle, systems. Processes that allow money to move without constant supervision. Teams, automation, repeatable operations. When systems exist, work stops being personal labor and starts becoming ownership. Now notice something carefully. None of these assets appear overnight, and none of them require you to quit your job tomorrow. In fact, most people who become financially free start building these quietly while still working. a video after work, an investment every month, a small business experiment on weekends. Slow moves, but time is moving anyway. Every year you delay, compounding continues for someone else. This is the part most people realize too late. You don't need dozens of assets. 2 or 3 strong ones built patiently over time can completely change your life. And the moment they start working for you, work becomes optional. Not urgent, not survival, optional. Which brings us back to the question from the beginning. What if nothing changes? Well, something always changes. Time. Time keeps moving. The real question is this: will it move for you or without you? If this video made something click in your mind, subscribe. Because on this channel, we're not chasing fast money. We're learning how to quietly redesign the game. And in the next video, we're going to talk about something even more powerful. Because once you understand assets, the next question becomes obvious. How do you build a business that runs even when you're not there? And that's exactly what we're exploring next.